we do have the National Bureau of Statistics. Can we have an institution do a research on the impact of climate change on gender, so that we know the actual data? Because we only have the general statistics of 53% of the population are women. But out of the 53% of the women, how many are impacted negatively by the climate change crisis? When we get this data, we'll be able to make informed decisions, other than just dwelling on an assumption that women are greatly impacted by the climate change crisis. Thank you very much.
Okay, I have a concern, and I think this concern is this is the right forum to present it. Yeah, we have been talking since yesterday, inclusivity, gender inclusive financing. But personally, I want to express myself personally, I am not very happy with the use of that language of inclusivity. I think we should think beyond inclusivity. If we want to address a situation which is of this magnitude, if we think that let's include women, and I think from African perspective, maybe my culture, if you are included in something that you are not part and partial in it, you stand a chance of being left out or marginalized in the thinking process. So in my view, I'm thinking that we should look beyond inclusivity. And what is that? I have two offers here. Yesterday I mentioned that some of these concepts we need to decolonize from them. What was the Eurocentric thinking of including Africa in some of these things? I think there was a bit of connotation that they're thinking of climate change affecting women more as compared to men. But here we are saying, no, let's include them. In what particular areas? Financing. But financing comes when the bigger debate has already happened. The liberal debate right now, in Europe perspective, they don't talk of including women. I don't know if you hear them talk about including women in their constitutional decision making or something like the peace processes. They talk about including women. The debate is totally different. But when we are here, we are talking about, because we want to put funding.
I'm sorry we are dragging this whole discussion. For me, my concern, especially based on the video we were watching earlier today, I'm looking at an aspect of us having generational loss due to environmental and climate impact. So, and as my colleague here mentioned, we are basing on theories and all that. I feel we need to hurry to arrest the situation. In some areas, the men are facing issues of infertility. And in some areas, the women are giving birth to deformed children. These are genetical mutilations. How best can we try to arrest the situation before we lose a huge population of people?
To address some of these climate issues. I'm from Ministry of Water Resources, and I just wanted to say that as a ministry, we are currently implementing a World Bank project known as the Regional Climate Resilience Program for Eastern and Southern Africa. This program is trying to look at what are the solutions that the country can be able to address issues related to climate and drought in the country. You might have realized that since 2019, to date, we have a series of flooding almost every year. As a government, we have not taken any action because flooding issues are not just simple issues that you can think and say, I wanted to go and create a barrier here so that community A is protected. Those are not, it has to be based on a research that needs to be conducted. You need to understand the catchment in which this water is creating these problems, whether they are running from up going down or even the rainfall, you need to understand all this pattern over a period of time. Because it doesn't, you need to understand a history of, let's say, 50 years return period of the whole waters so that you can be able to design structures that can be able to protect communities. And because of this, the ministry has launched currently studies, they are ongoing, serious feasibility studies to understand exactly what kind of, whether they are nature-based, grey, green infrastructure that needs to be implemented at a particular location that would be identified. You know, a solution, for example, for a bore or even for Bentiu may not be, from our perspective as people of water, may not be necessarily there. It might be upstream, which needs to be understood. It can be rivers that flows, for example, from Western Equatoria, that goes down to Bahr el-Ghazal, that needs to be looked at. What infrastructure can we put there to protect people downstream? So all these studies are currently being undertaken. It might take some time, but we'll assure you that we'll have a better understanding of what needs to be done in order to protect people who are flooded, but also provide water to communities that doesn't have water. Because when you talk of climate, you're not talking of only issues related to flooding, but also drought is part of it, including even this extreme heat that we're having. Because climate change is a global phenomenon, but its manifestation is seen at a local level. Even the actual actions that we need to take are actions that each and every one of us in this particular room needs to take. For example, you look at our economy, it's more of an agricultural economy. Whether they are pastoralists, whether they are fishing, whether they are farmers. What kind of practices are we doing that aggravates the impact of climate change? We need to be looking at this. For example, from an agricultural perspective, it can be the way you cultivate your land. You allow a lot of soil goes into the river system. The system becomes very shallow. The carrying capacity of our rivers become less, and it creates flooding in another location. This is just an example. You can talk about livestock, the carrying capacity. Do we have any assessment of the carrying capacity of our livestock in terms of our pasture? It might be destroying our vegetation, and the vegetation is supposed to be a sink of the excess water that we receive. Some of it are retained within the vegetation, and less is allowed to go to the river systems. Once you destroy the vegetation, what happens? Much of the water doesn't percolate down. It goes to the river systems, carrying a lot of soils, and all this creates a lot of issues. So there are a number of things that individuals in this country can act on when awareness is created. At times when we go to these communities to talk of climate change, they think it's the carbon that is being generated in the first world that is affecting us, but they may not translate it into their own actions within the country here. So these are things that really we need to take into consideration. There are already initiatives, and these initiatives, as civil societies, we need to find out what initiatives are currently being taken out that we can now ask people for accountability. Have you done this? You already have the initiative. For example, you can come to the Ministry of Water Resources, ask for us, what have you done? Now that you have the resources and you're doing something. I think this is the role of the civil societies, to follow it up and see that these actions are being done at the respective places and products are coming out. Thank you.
Last speaker. From the Ministry of Environment. I just want to talk about the issue of the vulnerability on women and the children, as we saw on that video. And for some of us who are looking forward to see the solution for climate impact in South Sudan, I think we have the long way to go. Why? If some of you, maybe you have gone to college, you find that the open water in the pits, that water is containing the dihydrogen sulfide. in the process, that water, it goes up, interact with carbon dioxide, interact with the water, and interact with the gases. And it goes up because our body doesn't take the dihydrogen sulfide in that form. In the process of the chemical and all that, it comes back to us in the form of sulfide, which is the ready form for our body to take. Because of sulfide, it containing our genetics component. Because our genetic is composed with 20 amino acids. So, in the genetics, so we currently now, we are experiencing the issue of the genetic mutation in our population. That's why we see that kind of deformity in the children and the other side. So, for such a group, you have the power, you have the voice, and we have to come up with the solution. And to come up with the solution, there are always some challenges. When the oil was started in College or in Bentiu, Sudan was one country. Currently now in the Ministry of Environment, we don't have an environmental impact assessment. That was done at the beginning of for the oil operation. The document is still in Khartoum. Now we have the environmental solution. How do we go? And we don't have the EIA. Some of us here in the country, we are asked to produce an environmental protection bill so that the citizens of the country will have the power to guide and to be able to say, you and X, you are polluting the country. And this is the law will say, you have done this one here, and you should be held accountable that you have done, and you should be paid for. For those who have been somewhere in the US, in Canada, there is a formula that all the oil companies, they carry out. That is called the MA is equal to MC. That is an environmental mitigation. But when you come to Southern Sudan, you find that oil companies are polluting the country by 100%. Nobody is controlling them. And that's why you will see the partners, they just pull it out. And what they have done, they might have put some money away to drag you down when you go to the court. And we don't have the money, do we? They will hire the most expert lawyers in the world to make sure this case will go nowhere. We don't have the money. We don't have the EIA, and we don't even have the environmental protection bill in the country. So it is up to us to deal with these issues. It is up to us to make sure no more pollution taking place. So that's why we are saying, please, if you have the access to the environmental protection bill, please speed it up. Currently now, the Minister of Environment, it may be receiving an environmental audit to see what happened in the oil field. Whereby, if we receive it, then we will read it. We have our comment, and that one will go to the decision makers. So, by the way, oil is not a blessing; it is a curse. So let us really putting our hand together. Otherwise, the children that are we producing today, they are not going to be viable children in the long run. Okay? So there are so many elements that are speeding the pollution in the country. Number one is the temperature. Our temperature is so high. Number two is that our land is very flat. When it comes to the flooding and the rain, you find that manure oil, they will cover the large land during the rain season. When the dry season comes, it goes down. In the next season, we'll pick it up and it will go on. So most of these areas, it need a more policy, more management, and the more government. The government has to come in with some regulation and to make sure that oil companies are being tied down, to make sure the environment is well protected. Thank you so much. I'm from the Ministry of Environment. For those who don't know me, my name is Mabiora Kimai. I work for the Ministry of Environment and Forestry.
Thank you. Even not just 10 enough. 10. Thank you, sir. You're a scholar and a gentleman. Thank you so much. And you know, things that you want to do, action points. And we have come to that point now. We have elected to do it in 3 groups. And just like we did yesterday, we're going to repeat that exercise. Just that now, instead of getting to 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll just get to 4. Okay? So we'll start from here. Just say 1, see what happens. Magic. No. Wow. I like that 1. No, 4, 2. Yeah, 2 would be the answer. So go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now start, go back to 1, okay? Let's go.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
No? 3?
1, 2, 3. 1.
No, sorry. You can't. Just step out of that. If I come this side, sir. Mr. James, please come this side, and Mr. Nyal, please come this side as well. Mr. Nyal there. Okay.
You got to be 3.
Oh, yeah, okay. So you 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
We'll give the authority to be able to fasten this process. Is that okay? I'm legitimate because I get the powers from you. We have 3 groups. Is it possible all of us sit down so we're more comfortable? Maybe let's put AC on. I don't know. I was about to complain there, but since I have no AC in my house, I feel ashamed to sometimes complain. Because I don't have baseline. My baseline is when I have something in my house, like this hotel is mine, I say, in my hotel, properly written or properly discussed. Because if it's not good, can I ask you something? Did you see the resolution of the economic conference? The resolution of the economic conference last time? Did you see that? You saw it, right?
I was part of it, right?
Yes. So when they had taught points at high level, forget about what is in the village, high level, right? Yeah, so we have 2 consultants here. So the topic here, we talk about climate, governance, and climate financing. So I wanted each group to do the following. You need to discuss what are the 3 strategies that needs to be implemented to achieve climate governance in South Sudan. All of you. 3 concrete, well thought out strategies. 3 strategies that can be implemented in South Sudan to achieve climate governance. Have you written that down? What are you writing? Good. Number 2, we want also each group to come up with 3 concrete and well thought out strategies that is to be implemented in South Sudan to achieve climate financing. Is that okay? There's a strategies for climate governance and strategies for. And when they say we talk about the governance, what are we talking about? Those processes, the stakeholders, and actors, right? But I want from the strategy perspective, There's difference between objective and strategy on an activity. He will give us some of the explanations of in terms of what needs to be done. Is that okay? Is that okay? Number 3. Each group should give us four concrete and well thought out the role of civil society in achieving climate governance and climate finances in South Sudan. What's going to be your role as civil society in achieving climate governance and climate financing in South Sudan? Is that okay? Because some of the finances we talk about is not here in South Sudan. Some of this we got them from outside. And then the last to discuss those elements and then begin to put them in, and put them down in there. Where's one?
This dimension, the gender sense.
Yes. So you want to speak one of those?
She's already coming.
Then I can do one of those. Yeah.
Let's go directly to the discussions. We have around 4 questions, which needs to be answered in the 15 minutes. Which means that we need to leave it. So we need to
at what level? Because there's a finance fit and then there's also
No, what we do is we first agree to the person monitoring.
at the international level, they look at the compliance issues, then there are some other plan that cannot be stored in a central plan.
All right, we are now ready. This is group 1. And to answer the first question, which is the strategies that can be implemented in South Sudan to achieve climate governance. So one of the strategies that we have suggested in our group is that to develop and implement strong climate policies and laws. And also to create an independent environmental monitoring agency, and also to develop and also to have strategies that can be implemented in South Sudan to achieve climate governance, enforcing penalties for environmental violations, for example, plastic waste, deforestation, and so on. And the second question was on some of the strategies that we can have to achieve climate finance in South Sudan. So some of the strategies that we also suggested in our group discussion is leveraging the fund from global climate finance mechanisms, for example, Green Climate Fund, Adaptation Fund, and also World Bank. We can also partner with international NGOs and regional bodies for technical and financial support. And we can negotiate debt for nature swaps to fund conservation projects. And the third question is on the role of civil society.
Okay, let me give them 2 additional minutes.
1 minute.
Yes. Okay. So on the role of civil society, what can civil society do to achieve climate governance and climate finance in South Sudan? Raise awareness and advocate, conduct media campaigns, workshops like the one we are having now, basically to advocate. That would be the role of civil society. And also the roles of government when it comes to government. What can government do? The government can, of course, enforce laws on climate policies, strengthen environmental regulations and compliance mechanisms, also mobilize for climate finance, securing funding from national, regional, and international sources, and as well as implement sustainable development policies, that is to integrate climate resilience into economic planning. With that, we will end. Thank you so much.
Any inputs? If no, we move on quickly. Yes.
Advocate for transparent use of climate fund.
Okay. Thank you. Civil society to advocate for transparent use of climate fund. That's good. Group number 3. Go back to 3.
Yeah. Before group number 3, we have very important financing. Yeah, we need to do that in South Sudan.
To implement or to exert?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one strategy for financing. One strategy for financing.
We also want to hear your voices.
Yeah, so this is group 3. I believe we are the climate champions.
Yes.
So anyway, the first question we are just putting, the first question is the reviewing of the current policies. So the policies that are already existing, we need to review them before we can do some changes so that we can include whatever was not put, issues of gender and so on.
I want you guys to just read what you've written because it takes a lot of your time.
Oh, okay. Strengthening the institutions or coordination mechanisms. Number 3 is enforcement of the laws or policies. Question 2, develop a resource mobilization strategy. Leverage private sectors. The next one is mobilization of local resources. Question 3, advocacy and policy influence. Carrying out research, capacity building awareness, accountability and monitoring. Question 4, allocation of resources, which is mobilization. Question 2 is putting in place clear legal framework that govern climate financing. That's all from us. Thank you. That's not a very good clap.
No, not yet. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Are you part of us? 2 of you. Are you part of us? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Let's go to group number 1.
And establishing new ones to start climate governance. Establishing an inclusive, independent climate governance body in the country. Thirdly is independent and very policy appliance network. I call it network, but here in the text, the language is not network, but independent appliance or compliance network. And then enhance capacity, strengthening and building on Climate Governance Act. The last one in that point, this is my own addition, is what they call assemblage. Assemblage in the sense that there are so many things that are happening in climate governance, but they are not coordinated. So there has to be an assemblage to coordinate that one. On financing, promotion of an independent financial institution that receives the finance for climate change or climate governance, inclusive of climate change in the fiscal national budget. And then an organized financial budget fundraising campaign, nationally. For civil society, the key role is advocacy at all angles, advocacy for finance and advocacy for implementation and so forth. Capacity building for the bodies that is established to monitor and control climate governance. Civil society needs to advocate for their capacity building and then monitor and evaluate all these activities. In addition to doing research and assessment. On the government part, implementation of all climate governance finance policies in the country. And that is a requirement of a strong legislation in the country. They also do research and assessment at the government level to enhance the climate change or climate governance. Credibility, transparency, accountability should be the order of the day for climate governance to stand strong.
So one, right? Is that okay? Okay. So, yes, so I will not take, I've taken something for some of you who have made a computerized or digital presentation. Please send it to us. We reorganize them. I know some of them are more like together, right? I've seen a lot of research in there, a lot of awareness in there. So I think this is very good. What I did not hear is bringing the voices of society or citizens, right, into this. I assume that you define yourself that by civil society participation, automatically the communities are participating, right? Is that an assumption? Or you never thought about the communities themselves? Right? Yes. I've never had strategies related to tackling the bad behaviors of the private sector when it comes to extractives, right? For us. Okay. So I think, moderator, I think this is where I end, right? So if you can send me back to be the participant.
He should just be given his own crate of water. Because he works quite a bit. We are coming to the end of our program. And you know, like I said this morning, like I intimated this morning, it is my sincere hope that even as we leave this place, you know, as we leave this place with the spirit of knowing that we are warriors in the fight to save the very soul of South Sudan. And maybe, just maybe, with the resolutions that have been passed here today, should we take them seriously? And if God should favor our endeavor, then we should be able to stand on each other's shoulders, stretch our fingers, and hopefully touch the face of God, because that's what this is about. I'm going to give you just about 5 minutes, 5 minutes tops, not to leave. We're about to leave, that's coming. If there is anybody at all in this room with whom you have been wanting to talk, exchange contacts, just 5 minutes. This will be the time you can chat a little bit for 5 minutes, and then we'll come to the penultimate closing of the conference. Thank you very much. You know, Grace, if you could please come forward and just tell us how this has been for you. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening. Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, by the name Grace Lewis. I'm a youth advocate. I'm a climate change advocate, and I work with an organization for youth and climate change. So you will have to agree with me that the sessions since yesterday until today has been very, very informative, and we've learned a lot. And apart from learning, we've also met people that maybe we've been wanting to meet, or the links that we've been wanting to have. And thanks to Mr. Wani and his team, the organizing committee of this program, most people have now gotten a lot of other links. And so we urge you, and we ask you to continue organizing such kind of programs for that is including stakeholders, private, civil society, and for us to engage and tackle issues climate change. And yeah, thank you so much.
The ADRNET team and all of us, I greet you all. Good evening to you all. It's been a productive 2 days, and all of us from different walk of life, from different professions, convened here for the last 2 days, and have had very fruitful discussions. As we could all know, not all of us come with uniform information, and that is the uniqueness of engagement as such, because it brings you together with colleagues from different areas of specialization, different areas of work, exchange views and exchange thoughts on different issues, and also learn from each other. This is the benefit of such engagement and this, and I want to thank everybody, including the ADRNET and all of us, for making this happen. It's not very common for sessions like this to be attended by high-profile individuals, and I'm very sure in one way or the other you have shaped the discussions for the last 2 days, and you have made very concrete recommendations in the last session that we've had, and this I believe is going to be taken up by ADRNET and many of us in our different capacities to increase conversations, increase discussions around climate governance and financing as well. So this is very important. I've had very positive impressions. Myself, I'm coming from a research angle, so we do research, but the legal framework is something that we don't consider so much, given the fact that we work on the side of science. But in this discussion, sharing the panel with individuals that also have very good expertise on the level of legal frameworks and issues to do with law, have been able to learn a lot of great deal of information from all of you. So I thank you very much for sharing this important session and important platform with you, and I believe we can be able to meet in some other future engagements and be able to carry this conversation forward. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very fruitful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. His name has been mentioned so many times today, and even I am here under the auspices of his patronage, because he allowed me to come and MC this event. He is the convener of this meeting, the executive director for ADRNET, Mr. Stephen Wani. Please put your hands together as he gives you his vote of thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate you for your 2 days active participation on this key developmental issue, which is the stakeholders' engagement on climate governance and financing. Without you, this event would have not been a success. But because of your acceptance and participation, it has laid a foundation in the climate space in this country. And I'm so privileged to see that we built a very strong collaboration to advance the recommendations that we have made. The second appreciation goes to Christian Aid for having invested resources to see that we engage stakeholders in issues to do with climate policy legislation and financing, such that we're able to contribute to the global cause in reducing green emission, in addressing issue of mitigation and adaptation. The third appreciation goes to to the Ministry of Environment and Forestry that has been supporting us from day one, giving us support, and also we were able to give us a letter of no objection to do any environmental related engagement. We are so grateful for the partnership and collaboration. I cannot stop without giving thanks to ADRNET team. I don't know where some of them. I wanted to appreciate ADRNET team staffs. If you're around, raise up your hand. ADRNET, Iwa Charles is our M&E officer. We have Mercy, is the project officer. We have Rebecca, is the finance. We have Ronnie, is the procurement guy, and then others. We have Justin, our pilot. I want to say thank you so much. In conclusion, I want to just say network and partnership is key as a key instrument from the Sustainable Development Goal. Action 13 of the Sustainable Development Goal, that's Goal 13, is climate action. And we have all solutions to address and reduce the global warming. Let's protect our earth, let's protect our ecosystem, let's contribute to the governance. It's my role, it's our role to preserve, protect our ecosystem. With this, I want to say thank you, and I welcome Alex to, I give this opportunity back to Chris to welcome Alex, and then thereafter the chamber. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank the media. Tell them thank you for coming. Are we not stakeholders? Thank them. We are always forgotten, not today. Media people, can you wave? Can you thank them? Thank these fellows.
I think we consider the media as part of the stakeholders, and that's why I say I thank everyone. Media is inclusive in that gratitude.
Okay.
So, on the special note,
yes,
I want always to appreciate the media for the work that they are doing. Information is power. And for every governance to happen, there must be channel of information that need to flow for transformation. And that is the key morals, key philosophy within the media fraternity. And I urge the media houses also to start practicing to build more passion in climate programming, climate journalism, that will curtail expansion. I want to see our journalists also travel to do climate-related coverage to other countries. That will be the dream that we need also to work together as partners. I call all partners to support the media fraternity, to also engage them in this climate negotiations, so that they give us a learning experience, and that is very key when it comes to change of models. Thank you.
Thank you. For you now. Now you can clap. At this point in time, as has been intimated quite well by Mr. Wani, this would not have been made possible without the support of Christian Aid. I'd like to invite Mr. Omondi from that organization to come and give his submissions, who in turn is going to invite Mr. Wani from the ministry. Mr. Omondi, please come forward. Please clap for him.
Yeah, I think good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. I think I've been more of a participant here than really a representative from Christian Aid, because the country director was represented here yesterday in the official opening, but then my colleague is also not in with us today. But in my capacity as a Christian Aid Climate Adaptation and Resilience Program Officer, I think this is a very, very good milestone that we are here today for the 2 days to back our engagement on climate governance financing and advocacy. So I'd like to take a special gratitude to thank ADRNET, Wani, and the team for taking very, very active action in organizing this stakeholder engagement conference. And also at the same time, thanking all of you, the stakeholders, for taking your time to be here in this 2 days engagement in this workshop. And more so also the government relevant ministries here, especially the Ministry of Environment, Water, and other key ministries like the representative from the Ministry of Justice and other government ministries. Very, very important that you have taken very active engagement into this serious discussions of climate change. Climate change, without wasting much of the time, is a reality, and it is time to act. It's time for action. I'm very delighted and excited, really, with the conversations that have happened within the 2 days. These conversations, we need to translate them into a meaningful actions by taking responsibilities that Wani already mentioned, that is my personal responsibility, is your personal responsibility, is our collective responsibility to ensure that we secure our climate, we secure our nation, we secure the globe, so that we also have a better living for now, for tomorrow, and for the generations to come. Our efforts now are more meaningful for the generations that we are building now. Let's not take issues of climate like people who still doubt. They see a lot of changes in their life, but they still doubt that there is no God. But those who have some testimonies will be able to tell that there is God. Many people do not believe whether climate change is a reality. But looking at some of the climate variabilities, you may really testify that this is real. People who are in the tradition, as mentioned before, some of the changes, the frequent happening of flooding in some of these communities we see, some elders are able to tell that they last have seen flooding in their communities in 1961 or in the 1980s. But consistently, South Sudan is facing some of the climate realities because of persistent flooding and even extreme drought. These are natural calamities that are actually happening because of our other people's actions, our actions in terms of the activities that we do as individuals, as communities.
All are facing. We are currently working with the Green Climate Fund through WAP, FAO, and Save the Children, designing project proposals. We have received the endorsement from the Green Climate Fund of $75 million by the end of this year, and that is one step that we have taken forward. We are also working with the diplomatic missions to make sure that we mobilize bilateral funds, and as well as local domestic resources, whether being public or private. Issues of gender are key in our agenda as a ministry, in our strategic plan, and in the environmental policy. That's why if you see we have a gender focal point from the Ministry of Environment that is representing the country internationally during negotiations. We have to make sure that gender is also represented in our international relations activities, whether in climate change negotiations or other international conferences or meetings. We are working to incorporate issues of gender equality and social inclusion in all our policies. We are soon going to start with the National Adaptation Plan. Then, of course, the NDC. Yes, we have a complete chapter on gender, but we have seen that it's not substantive to address all issues of gender and inclusion and social equality. So we are going to update those and make sure that all our policies are aligned with the issues of gender. climate change policy that will be developed will also take gender as a priority and the long-term climate resilient development strategies. Our future as South Sudan to respond to the impacts of climate change will rely on building strong institutions. If you don't have strong institutions that are accountable to our people, then we will not be able to meet the targets set out in the SDGs. So our focus is to build strong institutions that will work towards addressing the issues of climate change. Policy development, policies that are missing, and they are crucial as enablers to address issues of climate change will be put in place. And also issues to do with the participation of the country in international events. This workshop should mark the beginning. It should not be an end. And the discussion that we have here on this stakeholder engagement should continue outside there. We should not leave them here in pyramid. Because we have seen there are many engagements that are done. Once we leave the hotel, nobody talks about it. We should continue wearing this t-shirt and tell the people outside there we are advocating for climate change, adaptation, climate change mitigation, climate finance, and climate justice. So I really wanted to take this opportunity to thank all the stakeholders who are here, specifically ADRNET and the Christian Aid for supporting this stakeholder engagement workshop financially. I also want to thank the Ministry of Environment and Forestry for giving us the opportunity also to be part of the wider civil society in the country. And of course the media. Yes, the MC has been talking about the media. If you see our climate change issues are not in the forefront of international agendas because there is no documentation. When there was floods in Pakistan, it just happened once, and everywhere the world was talking about floods in Pakistan. But our floods that are here for 5 years, there is nobody who is promoting. So we wanted to urge the media. We have people here who are freelance journalists, independent journalists, that you take the lead in communicating also to the world that South Sudan is also one of the worst countries affected with the impacts of climate change. And finally, special thanks to the MC. You have been so amazing. We really thank you very much. I didn't have an energy like this, talking for 2 days, but it's still bringing energy into the room. Looking forward to engaging with you again in the near future. Thank you very much.